If you tried every single hair product, hair oil, hair supplement, and your hair still seems not to be growing, and it still seems kind of brittle and dull, even though you do take care of it, you might not be feeding your hair from the inside. And if you're not feeding your hair from the inside, no product will help you. That's why today we're talking about how to eat and drink your hair care. I'm going to show you the drinks and the food that you can take to make your hair shinier, stronger, maybe even grow longer depending on your goal. We'll break it down by goals like hair growth, shine, scalp health. Also, we're going to talk about some natural sources of the famous ingredients they put in hair care like keratin, biotin, silica, and others. Also, we're going to talk about how to build your healthy hair weekly menu. I'm going to show you some of my favorite smoothies that I love to make for my hair. And I'll also show you how to make your own superfood hair gummies that are quite delicious. Hi bestie, welcome back. So let's get into it. What does it mean to eat and drink your hair care? I also did a video on how to eat and drink your skincare. If you wish to see that, I will link it somewhere so you can watch it. But for the hair care, what does it mean? So what does eating and drinking your hair care actually mean? It means eating certain food and drink that target a certain hair issue that you might have. For example, if you have a certain issue with your hair, you want to solve it by using a specific hair mask or some sort of oil or some treatment. It's the same thing, it's just you're intaking this internally rather than applying it onto your hair. So think about it like your internal hair care. A lot of the issues we have with our hair come from the inside, and it's hard to solve it with something like a product that you're gonna apply on top of your hair if the issue is internal. So we have to fix the root of the problem in order to see any sort of change on our hair. Let's get into the specific hair goals. For the first goal, I think this is something that we all want, and that is stronger hair and breakage-free hair. If your hair feels weak and it breaks when you brush it, it usually means that you're not intaking enough of protein, biotin, and zinc. Protein and biotin are pretty crucial. Without enough protein and biotin, your body cannot repair the damaged strands, and you have low levels of zinc and iron. This means that your hair follicle is weakened and your hair is not growing as fast as it should be. This way, the only strands that are growing are the ones that are weak and brittle and damaged. You don't have enough capacity to grow additional hair, healthy new hair. So how do we fix it? Okay. First and foremost, we need to intake enough protein and biotin, and we're gonna do that through eggs. Eggs are amazing. They're filled with protein, filled with biotin, and this is what helps rebuild the keratin. Next, we want to make the hair shaft stronger. We are going to do that by intaking enough iron. Where do we find iron? In spinach, some lentils as well. For the zinc, we already spoke about this in how to eat and drink your skincare. We know that our little pumpkin seeds are amazing when it comes to zinc, so this can be your nice little snack throughout the day. Just snack on some pumpkin seeds. For the drink, you can take some rooibos tea. This is great when it comes to antioxidant and helps straighten your hair. I love high protein meals, but if you want to take care of your hair, this is especially important because your hair is 95% protein. So make sure that every meal you have has some sort of either plant or meat sourced protein in it. If your hair feels kind of dull and maybe your hair feels kind of dry when you touch it, even though you take care of it, it might mean that your scalp is missing some healthy oils in order to make your hair shiny. And this usually means that you need some iron, some vitamin E, and as well some healthy omega-3s. These nutrients are the ones that keep your scalp hydrated, and they support the natural oil production, and this is what gives your hair that beautiful shine and gloss-like finish. So how do you eat them? For vitamin E, avocados. Avocados are so amazing. They are great for a lot of stuff. I spoke about them in the skincare video as well, but for here, it's also very amazing for your hair. So eat some avocados for the vitamin E so you can moisturize your hair from the within. For the omega-3s, you need to be eating some walnuts. These are just amazing snacks. I love adding food that you can take as a snack, not just like really prepare something like a full meal just for your hair care. They're more focused on stuff that you can eat for breakfast, or you can snack on, or you can drink, so they're not taking away a lot of your time in a day. You can still have your own meals that are perfected for your body and for your goal. This is just something additional for taking care of your hair as well. So snack on some walnuts, they're amazing for you, also very delicious. And for iron, like we already spoke about in the first segment, you're gonna be eating some leafy greens, some spinach, lentils, and that will complete your shiny hair menu for this segment. So don't fear fats. Healthy fats are great for you, and they are what make your hair shiny, glossy, and really support the health of your hair. If your goal is to have a long hair, so if you feel stuck at a certain hair length and you just feel like your hair won't grow past a certain point, it might mean that your hair follicles are kind of asleep and we need to wake them up, and we're gonna do that with some amazing nutrients. Of course, we're gonna include our omega-3s, but besides that, we need some vitamin B and we need some vitamin D as well. These are the nutrients that stimulate the hair follicle, also allow some new hair growth while keeping your hair nice, healthy, and very thick. So we're gonna include some salmon and sardines into our routine as well, because they're very rich in vitamin D and omega-3s as well, because we want to reactivate those follicles like we already said. For the vitamin B, get yourself some sunflower seeds. Like you see, I have a lot of seeds here. So eating a lot of seeds in a day is very good for you. I love snacking on them. Sunflower seeds are great with vitamin B. This is gonna help with the thickness of your hair as well. So we're gonna eat some sweet potatoes that are gonna turn into vitamin A into your system, and that is gonna allow your scalp to stay nice and healthy. The main duo here is definitely vitamin D and omega-3s. These are amazing for your hair health. They are the ones that are gonna make your hair grow longer, much faster. Now let's talk about scalp health and reducing the shedding. Usually if you have any sort of shedding or issue, it's the scalp. And it kind of makes sense if you think about it. Scalp is like the soil from which your hair grows, and if it's not balanced, your hair will just not look good. And this imbalance is usually related to your gut health, low zinc, or poor circulation as well, and this is what is causing your hair to shed or generally just to have the bad quality of hair. So how are we gonna help our scalp produce nice, healthy hair? For fixing the gut health, this might be some sort of deeper issue that you might need to look into. But some of the surface fixing that we might talk about with the gut health is having enough probiotic. So eating enough Greek yogurt might benefit you with having enough probiotic, and then balancing out your any gut disbalances that you might have, which will in the end help you have more healthy scalp. For zinc, we spoke already. You can eat a lot of pumpkin seeds. So what was I saying? Pumpkin seed or sunflower? I don't know. To lower the amount of shedding, you need a zinc, and like we said already, we can get them from pumpkin seeds, but you can also get them from chickpeas as well. For the antioxidant, include some berries. You can choose strawberries, raspberries, blackberries, whatever you like. These are great as well. And for the drinks, nettle tea is amazing for your scalp health. You already know I love to use it in the form of water, like spraying my scalp with it and mixed with some sage water. I showed you how to make that in my previous video. I'll try to link it somewhere. But drinking nettle tea as well is great for you because it boosts circulation, so it allows the nutrients to actually reach your scalp and do their magic. So nettle tea, just all in all, great. A balanced scalp is the foundation for nice, healthy, long hair, so we really want to take care of it. For the next section, we're going to talk about some of the natural sources of some of the famous ingredients for the hair care, and we're going to start off with keratin. Like we already spoke about, it's extremely important. It's the best for the strength and the structure of your hair, so we need keratin. How do we get keratin? Like we already spoke about, and is the main protein that makes up your hair, so it's extremely important. Since it's protein, if you're not eating enough protein, like we already said, your hair is going to feel more brittle, it's gonna feel more thin. We need to include food that is gonna allow us to have enough source of amino acids that we need in order to build that protein. How we do that, like we said, eggs are amazing for that kind of protein. Also, quinoa is also amazing. So this is something that you can really mix and match depending on the issues you might have with your hair. If you want to level up on your keratin, you are gonna make a very healthy, like for example, quinoa salad, and you're gonna add some avocados for those amazing oils. You're gonna add some maybe walnuts or maybe some pumpkin seeds, and then maybe some hard-boiled egg, some salmon, and this will be just an amazing, nutritious meal for your entire hair. Just imagine it would explode with nutrients that your hair loves. Next up, biotin. Biotin we also love. It's one of the most famous hair vitamins, and really for a reason, because it's one of the key reasons for building keratin in your hair. So not having enough biotin can lead to thinning of the hair or shedding, and we don't want that. We want to include biotin into our bodies. How do we do that? How do we introduce biotin back into our system? We eat biotin-rich foods, which is almonds. Almonds are such an easy snack. They taste delicious and they're really great for your hair. Besides almonds, you can look at some oatmeal, maybe making an oatmeal for breakfast from time to time. If you're not making eggs for the keratin, then make some eggs for the biotin as well, because like we already said, they are great with protein and biotin as well. So you can make a different type of breakfast with this nutrients, maybe switch it up from day to day depending on what your hair needs or what you want to incorporate into your hair care routine. Iron is great. If your iron levels are low, your hair growth will slow down. You want to introduce iron back into your system so your hair can grow longer, much faster. Iron deficiency is one of the leading causes of hair loss, especially in women. So we do really need to take care of iron and our iron levels. So we need to eat food that are very rich in it. Like I said, dark leafy greens, spinach, lentils, maybe some red meat if you're eating that. Super important nutrient. Please do not forget about it. The sun has come out, so I don't know, half of my screen is bright and half is dark. I don't even know what to say. For the last ingredient, we're talking about silica. Silica is super important for having strong strands of hair. It's super important for your nails as well, so it's like double win. Silica strengthens the actual structure of your hair, meaning your hair will have less breakage. Silica is often overlooked, but for no reason, because it helps with building the collagen, but also it helps with having stronger strands of hair. So your hair will not break as easily and you will have less split ends, which in the end results in having that brittle hair. This way, if you have enough silica, your hair will be stronger, you will not have as much split ends, and then you don't have to cut it as often, meaning your hair might even grow longer for that reason. Foods great for this are cucumber, oats, banana. Something as simple as overnight oats or cucumber juice can really give you that solid silica boost, which will result in your hair being much stronger, so you're not gonna have that many breakage. For the next part, we are gonna build our weekly menu, and we need to be honest with ourselves for this part, because consistency is the key here. You cannot just like eat something in the morning and then expect by noon to have nice, luscious long hair. No, this is something that's gonna show up in months, so it cannot be instant, and you need to be aware of that. So I'm gonna read you a sample day, and then you can see how you can build your own depending on the goal that you might have. For example, for breakfast, you can do some omelet with spinach and then some avocado toast on the side. You have eggs, which are very rich for protein, for biotin. We have avocados for the healthy fats. We have the spinach for iron. So all in all, very nutritious and healthy breakfast. For lunch, you can do something like salmon and then maybe some quinoa on the side, maybe even some kale salad. So we have salmon that is amazing for those healthy fats, quinoa for protein and keratin, all in all, kale maybe for some iron, or if you want to switch it up, maybe even some other dark leafy greens. For the snack, you can snack on some pumpkin seeds or sunflower seeds, or I don't know, walnuts. Try not to overdo it, for example, because you don't want to be intaking a lot of fat, so you need to be versatile with this. So maybe add some Greek yogurt with some pumpkin seed on top. This is great. Greek yogurt for the gut health, for probiotic. Then we have the pumpkin seed for the zinc. Again, amazing. For example, for dinner, we can do some lentil and veggie stew or soup, maybe add some chicken or red meat. There we have iron, we have protein. For the drinks, we can go for nettle, for rooibos tea, maybe some cucumber water. All in all, just try to pick and choose. Also, maybe do your own research. Maybe there are some foods that you don't really like, but that are very rich in some sort of nutrients. But you can also find them on some other way or some other food ingredients. So try to research, like for example, if your issue is hair shedding, try to find out as much as you can about food that contain probiotic, antioxidant, zinc, and try to pick the ingredients that you personally like, not just something that someone else recommended, because we're all different, so you should be liking what you eat. Let's talk about smoothies. I love smoothies because they're like a shortcut to hair health in the cup. Oh, that rhymes. Not really. But I love smoothies because you can really pick and choose the food that you want to intake, but you don't have to incorporate them into a meal. You can have like a nice little drink in the afternoon. Depending on your hair goal, for example, if you want shiny hair, for base, I would use some almond milk, and then into that I would add some flax seeds or avocado, really blended nicely. Maybe add some spinach as well. Here we have some vitamin E, we have some omega, and this will really help with the thickness, actually the shine of your hair. So for the hair growth, our base is going to be maybe a Greek yogurt. You can dilute it with some plant-based milk that you like, and then add some pumpkin seeds. You can add some berries, some spinach. These are a lot of antioxidant, a lot of zinc, very rich in probiotics, so this will have your hair growing faster. For scalp health, we're gonna have some nettle tea, and we're gonna leave that to cool down. So our base is gonna be cool nettle tea. I thought I'm gonna say dry nettle tea. Cool nettle tea. We have a base of a cool nettle tea. We're gonna add some cucumber, some chia seed, maybe some kiwi, or I don't know what you like, maybe some blackberries. mix it all up. Here you have a beautiful blend of antioxidant and silica to really boost that hair health and really promote the health of your scalp. I have some key rules for you as well, which are food related. Some of them are, some of them not. First one is hydrate. I think this will forever be my first and foremost rule. You need to be hydrated. You need to be drinking a lot of water, because if you are dehydrated, your hair will be dehydrated. Your hair will not grow. It will not grow as healthy. It will be dry. It will be brittle. You won't like it. So please drink enough water. Next up is protein. I love to eat high protein meals. This does not have to be for you as well, but try to include some sort of protein into every meal you have. Protein is so amazing, not just for your overall health, but for your hair as well, as we already spoke about. Next up is sleeping enough and trying to reduce stress. Stress is just, I remember when my hair was shedding, I had little bald patches all over my right side. It was from stress. So try to minimize stress. I don't know, I cannot really help you on how to regulate this. This is a whole different topic, but it is something that we need to talk about when it comes to health of your hair. So try to regulate your stress first, then come to everything else. The sun, can it stop, please? Stop moving. And for the last tip that I have for you is to really rotate your meals and not be dependent onto one nutrient. Your hair needs a lot of different ones. You need vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E. You need some protein, you need biotin, silica, I spoke about iron, zinc. So you cannot just pick and choose one. Try to have a very diverse meal. I love to have my plate very, very colorful, and I suggest the same to you as well. Maybe you don't want to focus on a certain ingredient, but try to rotate it. Don't do it for, I don't know, 10 days in a row. Try to rotate those meals and have a different meal here and there, even though you're focusing on a certain ingredients, just to really keep that balance. Now, besides my cute little smoothies that I love making superfood gummies that are healthy for your hair. I love them. They taste nice. I love gummies. So this is just like a nice little snack. I don't take any hair supplements. I have never taken any hair supplements, but I do love my superfood gummies. They're very easy to make. I don't know if they do anything for your hair. In my mind, they do. And sometimes that's the only thing that you need, forcing yourself to believe that it does work. And then by some magic, it does. I don't know what it is, but I love them. So I'm going to show you how to make them, and then we can come back and finish this video.
Do not end up being superfood gummies. They more ended up being superfood hair jello. I used a different type of gelatin this time, and just don't make my mistake. Use what you're familiar with. These are usually so delicious. I love them. Even though they're jello and not gummies, they're super easy to make. They're amazing for your hair. I can probably eat an entire batch on my own, but we're not gonna do that. We're gonna store some for later as well. I don't know why I'm showing you my hair. I guess I'm just showing you my credentials. I'm not sure. For the gummies, what you're gonna need is some pomegranate juice. You're gonna need like 1 cup. This is a really big cup, so just use 1 cup. You're gonna need some berries. I use some frozen berries, and there I have some blackberries, some blueberries, raspberries, strawberries, just any berries that you can find. They're amazing. You're gonna need some honey, you're gonna need some chia seeds, and you're gonna need some gelatin, and that's all that you need for this recipe. We need to turn our chia seeds into almost a powder, so I'm trying here to kind of grind the chia seeds. They're so much easier to digest this way. So you can either put them in water and wait for them to kind of expand, or you can just grind them like this. Next up, you need a blender. I'm putting my pomegranate juice, then I'm putting my berries. Maybe I should have used less berries, but there's never enough berries. This was very delicious, and we are gonna blend this until it's very, very smooth. So I left this to blend for like 2 to 3 minutes, I think, on very high speed. And after that, we need something to strain this liquid. I have this little mesh bag. I think it's like for cheese. I'm not sure. I'm gonna link it on my Amazon. But what I do is I pour all the liquid inside of it, and then I just use my my hands to really, really like push the liquid out of it, so it keeps only the thick parts inside. Next, you are gonna simmer this for a few minutes. You don't want this to boil, you want it to simmer. I like to leave it to a temperature up to like 38 degrees. You don't want to lose all of the good ingredients, so we just want it to simmer. Then we add the gelatin, the chia seeds, honey. If you want, you can add some maybe lime or lemon juice. I don't, because it's very sour this way as well. Pomegranate juice is amazing. It boosts scalp circulation and delivers antioxidants that protect your hair. Berries, on the other hand, are packed with vitamin C, which stimulates the collagen production and really strengthens your hair. Honey helps with hydration and nourishing the scalp, but also the strands of hair. And the ground chia seeds provide the plant-based omega-3 fat acids that we need. Also the protein as well to really support thicker and shinier hair. I don't really have those cute molds, so I just put it in this little tray, and I left it in my fridge for, I think overnight. You don't need to, you can just leave it for like 2 to 3 hours, but I left it overnight because it was very late when I made it. And then when you get it out of the tray, I like to cut it into little cubes. First, I like to pat it dry because there is some liquid coming out of it. Every time I make this, I feel like Dwight Schrute in that one episode when he goes to the store covered in beet juice, because that's exactly how I am when I make this. It's very messy. I mean, it's not messy, I'm just a really clumsy person. I cut it up into bite-sized pieces and then eat half the tray right away because they're very yummy. But I like to store them in the fridge and just take them. I guess this lasts me for like 2, maybe 3 days. I don't really like to leave them too much in my fridge. But there you have it, a recipe for your own at-home hair gummies or hair jellos. I don't know, whatever you want to call them. Super easy to make, super delicious, and they're very, very healthy for you.
That will be all for this video. We learned how to eat and drink our hair care and how to really take care of our hair from within. We need to be mindful of the things we put into our body because this really reflects on our outer surface as well. If your hair is dry, if it's brittle and nothing is helping, try taking care of it with food and very, very much with the nutrients you put inside of your body. If you want all of these recipes from today, I know they're kind of a lot and I don't know if you can really memorize them all. I do have like a free pamphlet for you down below. You can go ahead and download it, and I'm hoping that that will help with the preparation of some of these ingredients. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. I really love doing this type of videos. I do really love taking care of what I put into my body, and I always love sharing that with you guys. So I'm hoping you learned something new. If you did, make sure to subscribe if you already haven't. Also, let me know if you have some sort of favorite smoothies as well for like hair health. I would love to try some new ones. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing day wherever you are, and I really hope to see you in my next video.